Hi friends, I just got back from a mini art haul and I'm so excited to try oil pastels for the first time with y'all on my channel. This is not a sponsored video. I just bought the Mont Marte Natural Hues collection of 36 hues and 3 white sticks. I have been craving for some soft buttery oil pastel work for some time now and I thought why not give these a try. I will be swatching and blending the hues first. And I'll be using these blending stumps from the local art store where I purchase art supplies. I will also share how I created some of my initial work with this set, and it truly scratched the itch of me wanting to try this format. It was so satisfying. I didn't buy a specific sheet to paint on, but this 200 GSM drawing sheet was just fine to start off with. I usually do some of my rough watercolors and doodling on it. So here goes. The first thing I do is familiarize myself with the medium and the various hues in this set. Swatching is a great way to do so. I start with a natural arrangement of cool mid to warm hues of a color and observe. The experience is just as I'd imagined. Soft oil pastels are so creamy and easy to apply, with an ultra smooth finish and a generous payoff. The blending stump is a great tool to easily smoothen out and give it an even texture where needed. I ensure to wipe it off with a tissue before I blend a new hue to avoid color transfer at the stage of swatching. I love this hue, which is called the flamingo. But friends, I won't be calling out the specific names of the oil pastels here, as these are brand specific. Rather, I like to observe the shifting color bias of these hues towards cool, mid or warm. For example, starting with a cool yellow to a mid to warm yellow-orange, moving to a warm red, and then gradually to cool desaturated reds, magentas and purples, and a whole range of warm and cool blues and greens. There are some neutrals too, like greys and browns. Next, using the white, I do a quick check on how I can shift the value of these hues by layering with white. I also do a sense check on creating muted tones by mixing complementary colors, for example, a muted orange with this purple, and check for feasibility of blending natural browns and blacks. Since I recorded this swatching session at night, I was not confident on the lighting and decided to just go off camera for the first 2 attempts of my landscape artwork. I was also not very confident since I was using this medium for the first time. But I was happy with the first attempt, and so the next day I'm ready to share the process for 2 new artworks. Using a washi tape, I secure a clean border, because who doesn't like to peel off tape after a finished artwork? I will first do a seascape in a loose style, using just the blues to green range, white and a bit of purple in the end. With broad strokes, I begin to simply draw the ocean water lines. It may seem like a mess in the beginning, but I feel it'll all come together in the end. With few rounds of blending, reapplying the pastels to build layers and depth, it starts to look like a seascape. The interesting part is applying the white pastel to give form to the waves. The texture feels good. After I peel off the tape, which I was so eager to do, I add in some last touches and leave it at that. For the next landscape, I look up a free reference in the net of a vibrant Tuscany sunset that will allow me to use a mix of warm and cool colors. I do a light sketch with a graphite pencil first. I'm not looking for details here. For the cypress trees, I use a mix of hooker's green and brick red to make a natural dark silhouette. And then I explore vivid sunset colors for the sky. With last of daylight falling on some parts of the field, creating a terrain of colors. With a happy heart of having tried oil pastels in these thumbnail studies, I think I have refound the love for colors in a stick. Journey for sure has been curious all throughout while I painted, and of course gets a treat and some extra TLC for being on his best behavior. If you're new to my channel, I love painting and sharing my creative journey here. Sharing demos of my painting process in oils and watercolors, exploring different mediums, sometimes getting messy, sometimes finding magic, but always discovering something new along the way. Friends, if you stayed with me till the end of this video, thank you so much. I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever tried all pastels? Or are they still on your to-try list? Until next time, stay inspired, stay curious, and keep creating.